So today I woke up and said I'm not going to do a Hedera Hashgraph HBAR video because we've been doing one now for nearly the past 2 weeks, almost on a daily basis. And we aren't just into Hedera, we're into this space as a whole, and we think there's lots of other exciting projects out there that are doing some pretty amazing sort of groundbreaking things and are ultimately going to lead to this digital renaissance that we're seeing involving distributed ledger technology. However, there's just always so much to cover with Hedera. It's got to be the most exciting ecosystem with that much taking place. And the world is really waking up to it. I can't tell you how many prominent crypto YouTuber and Twitter accounts have reached out to me really in the past couple of weeks asking about Hedera and kind of really changing their tune towards it. And you too would have likely came to that conclusion when you have a general understanding of this space and what some of these other blockchains are doing, and then you stumble upon Hedera, you start to look into it, and you kind of go, wow, this is the most fit for purpose distributed ledger, in my opinion, for sort of seeing in this renaissance and everything that's happening. And today, what we're going to do is we're going to look at an announcement from EQTYLabs that involves Nvidia and Intel. We're going to discuss this. We're also going to be playing a clip of Lehman talking about the convergence of distributed ledger technology and AI. Lehman has a doctorate in AI, by the way, and AI is one use case, one very large use case, as it's such a transformational technology of many that Hedera is solving. I mean, Hedera in many ways is kind of rewriting how global finance is done. I think stablecoins on Hedera are massively underlooked. Stablecoins are going to play a very prominent role in the world that we're moving towards. In fact, they're largely going to replace the older system of money that we have, which is what we currently use and send at the moment. Stablecoins will largely replace a lot of that, and I think Hedera is going to play a role in that. But we're going to look at all that to start the video off, and then what we're going to do is we're going to dive into some price action. Because we're very bullish on Hedera. We've spoken about what kind of a phase we think it's in and how markets move in this kind of four-phase-like fashion. We've gone through a period of accumulation. We also have a technical target there, confirming that we're now into phase two and that we're going to see continuation. We've got that 94 cents short-term price prediction. And actually, we're going to drop right down the time frames. And I'm going to show you some continuation structure that is setting up as we speak for Hedera, likely going to lead to more upside continuation. So, as promised, we're sorry to bring you another Hedera Hashgraph update, but we're also not sorry because there's just so much going on, and this truly is, I mean, it's my largest position. Let that speak for itself. Today, EQTYLabs, Nvidia, and Intel have unveiled Verifiable Compute, the first hardware-based solution to govern and audit AI workflows. So this hasn't been done before in regards to these three, or more broadly, what's being spoken about here, but these three certainly working on this use case. At launch, every AI computation on compatible Intel CPUs and Nvidia GPUs will be immediately recorded on Hedera. Let's just take a moment, because this is just another unbelievable thing that is being facilitated via Hedera. And we've spoken about the convergence between AI and distributed ledger technology. Some of you might not be familiar with EQTYLabs. Very small sort of Twitter account and Twitter presence. Hopefully we can change that. But they're essentially coming up with a new and improved AI model, as it were. Market themselves as AI for all. You can see this is the comparison other AI models currently have. Opaque signals, exclusionary practices, centralized control, and complexity, whereas equity solutions that they're working on with Intel and Nvidia are open data channels, collaborative tuning, self-sovereign governance, explainability, and interoperability. And this is interesting. What I want to do before we dive into the official announcement is just quickly run this clip of Lehman talking about the convergence of AI and, of course, distributed ledger. Of course, Hedera is a very comfortable home for it all for a number of reasons. One is it's scalable enough to do so. It's scalable enough to use for the kind of TPS you're going to see on AI, but also the Internet of Things. And this is another really interesting area that Hedera is kind of pioneering. So let's play the clip.
Can we elaborate on that? How do we ensure decentralized AI moving forward? So Lehman, Ronald, do you want to add to that?
Sure. So I don't think what you're going to find is that while we're training a new model, we have lots of decentralized computers working on pieces of it. That's probably not what you're going to see just because of the sheer amount of computation that is needed and the fast communication between the pieces. We'll have big data centers that cost $10 billion to do these training. However, the governance of being able to track it, you don't want to have to trust one person. This is too important. You really need a DLT to be able to do this. So the governance of this AI is decentralized. And then the inference. When you actually use the model and you ask it a question, you get back your answer. That you really don't want centralized. I don't want to send my personal questions and documents I want summarized to some server run by some person who I don't even know who they are. I want this pushed out to the edge. I want on-premises AI inference where I'm asking the question to my phone and a chip on my phone is answering it. Or I'm asking my laptop and a chip in my laptop is answering it. This, of course, requires advances in chips, but this is something we have to do as a species. Humanity has to get to the point where the AI, at least the inferencing, at least asking it questions and getting back an answer, happens locally. Very important.
Back to the announcement. This was the official announcement from Hedera's homepage, hedera.com. EQTYLabs Verifiable Compute brings trust to AI with Hedera. New verifiable compute solutions from EQTYLabs, Intel, and Nvidia anchor trust on the Hedera network. Today, EQTYLabs, Intel, and Nvidia unveiled Verifiable Compute, the new transformative solutions addressing a critical need in the AI industry for trust and verification, particularly as autonomous AI agents become more prevalent. It was Franklin Templeton and a number of other people out there that have actually been highlighting the rise of AI agents. It was also in Vanex's top 10 crypto predictions that AI agents were going to be a big thing. There's a number of problems with them as of right now, and that's based on these AI models and how data is used and the lack of accountability with it currently. Distributed ledgers entirely changed and revolutionized that. DLTs, Hedera is, I believe, going to be an enabling factor in regards to AI and take it to that next level, which is very, very interesting. By rooting trust in the solutions of next-generation hardware from Nvidia and Intel, Verifiable Compute sets a new standard for AI security and innovation. The framework is the accumulation of 2 years of intensive research, with input and support from Hedera's ecosystem at key stages. It introduces hardware-based SLSA security level 3 systems for creating cryptographic certificates to govern and order AI workflows, all anchored in the immutable and transparent history that Hedera's network uniquely enables. Verifiable Compute leverages advanced cryptography to protect and control AI data, models, and agents, transforming how organizations enforce AI governance and automate auditing. The solution introduces a hardware-based cryptographic AI notary and certificate system, ensuring explainability, accountability, and security of AI training, inference, and benchmarking at runtime. This can isolate sensitive AI operations and create tamper-proof records of every data object and code compute in AI training inference. The framework leverages the Hedera Consensus Service, we spoke about that with Rob Allen, to create an immutable ledger of AI computations, harnessing the transparency and trust of Web3 to set a new standard for enterprise AI governance. And remember, Hedera is the enterprise crypto, in my opinion. By anchoring AI trust directly in silicon and extending it to the Hedera network, the solutions provide a tangible use case for demonstrating the power of Web3 in enhancing AI security, transparency, and compliance. Using EQTYLabs tooling, computation is represented by a series of attestations originating from trusted execution environments, TEEs for short. These hardware attestations, which can be composed to desire entire AI pipelines, are complied into a manifest that is anchored on Hedera as verifiable timestamps and from downstream verifiable processing. Hedera enterprise-grade infrastructure, backed by a council of global leaders like Dell Technologies, set it apart from other blockchains by providing the scalability and security essential for bringing verifiable compute to market. Commented Jonathan Dotum, founder of EQTYLabs, "We're proud to use Hedera's consensus service to drive a more transparent and secure future for AI." It then goes to talk about Hedera's role in powering AI, immutable record keeping, smart contract orchestration, and enhancing government compliance. And then it talks about sort of EQTYLabs. This is huge. This is just another arrow in Hedera's quiver. And there's so many of them, guys. And this is why we talk about it as often as we do, because there honestly has to be more going on in the Hedera ecosystem than largely any other out there. And this is why we've been getting all those messages recently. So many people, many of them you will likely know and watch, that a lot of them have significantly bigger channels than myself, all now asking and answering the questions. Some of them even looking to take positions in Hedera. And we've got an inbox sort of inundated with some of them, and we're likely going to be doing some things with them. What I want to do now, guys, is wrap things up on a little bit of price action. The stage is very much set. We've spoken essentially about how we believe markets move in 4 phases. We've done a lot of work with this as it relates to Hedera, but the space more broadly. And we ultimately believe that on this volume spike here, Hedera broke out into what we look at as a phase 2, which is an uptrend. There's also a double bottom pattern, which gives you further confidence that Hedera is going to the upside. Then, when we drop down the timeframes, I actually think this is likely going to set up to be some sort of a continuation structure, and we're going to work out roughly where that's going to take us. So if we drop right the way down to the 4-hourly time frame, you can see this is the uptrend that Hedera has been in since it's sort of low at 4 cents. I know there was some people, we were getting a lot of moaning back then, and then it did like a 700% rally. But ultimately, I think this could potentially be about to set Hedera up for continuation in much the same way that you saw that take place. This could turn into a bullish pennant. And if it is a bullish pennant, depending on where we want to draw this from, you may actually be looking certainly a run up to the sort of 74 cents range, and certainly marching you up towards that broader pattern that is essentially going to see Hedera march towards sort of 94 cents, which is, of course, where we believe it's going. So on the big time frames, things very much look good. And also on the smaller time frames, things also look pretty ready for continuation. And I do think that's quite likely to be the case. Smaller time frames aligning with the direction of the bigger time frames. That's called confluence. When it walks, talks, and quacks like a duck, it is a duck, ladies and gentlemen. Hang in there, HBAR hodlers. It's such a bright future we've got ahead of us. Hello, future. That's it from me, guys. I'm going to love and leave you. Thanks for watching. See you all soon.